Assalamu alaikum, everyone. We are back online with another session. I welcome all of you. And today we have Dr. Kashif Nissar Saab. He is from Malaysia. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
So I would like to introduce briefly Dr. Kashif Nissar Saab. Dr. Kashif has done his postdoc from Auckland University of Technology, Auckland, New Zealand. Before that, he completed his PhD at the University Technology Petronas, Malaysia. Currently, Dr. Nissar is serving as an associate professor at Faculty of Computing and Informatics, University Malaysia Sabah. He has visited many countries as a visiting professor like Canada, New Zealand, Japan, South Korea. He also visited in Germany as a guest professor. Dr. Nissar has been published more than 160 research papers in many high impact journals and well reputed international conferences. His research interests include future internet, information centric network, content centric network, named data networking, software defined networking, Internet of Things, and many more. Currently, he is working on future networks, IoT security, and API security, and he is also working closely with industry. Dr. Nissar is also a member of many professional organizations like IEEE, and today he will be presenting a special talk on future technology industry for impact on technology. Much for joining us today. Kashif Saab, over to you.
Okay, thank you.
So
Okay,
I will request you before we start, just tell us briefly how's the situation in Malaysia.
okay. Bismillah Rahman Rahim and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Very good evening to all. First of all, I would like to say thanks, Dr. Mustafa and DUED for organize my talk at uh, his university. Okay, before we will move forward, I would like to give you a brief introduction about Malaysia. Basically, nowadays we have COVID-19 situation throughout the world. That's why we become virtual. Means nowadays electronic engineering and computer science technologies very important because these technologies are emerging technologies fixed with everywhere. That's why it is very important. And Malaysia is, I believe that it is a developed country. And Malaysia basically, we can say it's a Muslim country, but it's divided in three different races and religions. Like 60% are Malay, all are Muslim. Then 30% are Chinese Malaysian, they are Buddha. And then 10% we have Tamil Indians, these are Hindu. So combine these three races and three religion, we can say Malaysia. And Malaysia basically a tourist country and very badly affected due to this pandemic situation. Cannot enter tourists inside country, hoteling also issue, and airlines closed. So that's why I think everyone affect from these things, especially in education sector. I believe that Malaysia is one of the hub in Southeast Asia for education industry. In Malaysia, basically, we have 22 public universities, 40, 40 we have private sector universities, and also we have 8 to 10 universities from overseas, such as like Monash University, Curtin University, Swinburne University from Australia, and other universities from UK as well as and other countries also. And Malaysian universities, they have also few campuses in different countries, like in Vietnam, United Kingdom, for example, One university name is Lim Kok Wing University. It is based in Putrajaya, Malaysia. Basically, that is a brief background about Malaysia. Then, as I said to you, in Malaysia we have 22 public universities, and my university also one of the public university among these universities. And Malaysia based on uh, divided into two different big islands. One is like West Malaysia, another is East Malaysia. Currently, I am in East Malaysia, and this is world biggest island after Australia, because Australia itself continent. Uh, this island name is Borneo Island. It's shared with three countries: Brunei Darussalam, Indonesia, and Malaysia. I am in Sabah, and my university name of the state University Malaysia Sabah, and it is, as I said to you, public university, only one university in this state. That is why it's a full-fledged university. We have 16 faculties. We have 20,000 students, 5,000 academic and non-academic staff, and we have three campuses. Our main campus is in KK Sabah. It is one. It is like a 1,000-hectare area, and only university in Malaysia we have a beach. Why we have beach? Because we have also marine science, so that's why we have beach also. Hopefully in future you will visit my campus, and then you will see physically. Let us move forward regarding my topic today. Again, thanks ORIC DUT invited me. Okay, today my talk title is Future Technologies, Industry 4.0 Impact on Technology and Education. As I said to you, future technologies are very important, especially Industry 4.0. From where IR 4.0 came, basically first time discussed in World Economic Forum at Switzerland. Each country has a different name for IR 4.0. Like in Japan, they say industrial society. In Korea, they said smart society. In Malaysia, basically, we call it Industrial 4.0. We will discuss further these things in my upcoming slides. And of course, technologies are related to education. If we will use these technologies, then we will move forward. Outline for my presentation: Future Internet, the fourth industrial revolution, education, and IoT, Internet of Things. Internet of Things means like everything on internet, like heterogeneous network, regardless brands, either maybe Cisco or maybe Juniper or maybe Huawei. And nowadays we have few other terms for Internet of Things. It's called everything on internet. So means now we have everything on internet. Then we have a background feature of ICN, information centric network. It is also one of the future internet, because our current internet based on uh, like first time DOD 1969, they came up with that internet, and based on TCP/IP. It was only for security purposes. Still we are using same TCP/IP layers. Now that's why we have to change, or we have to come up with new internet, or maybe we can use a parallel internet. It's called ICN. We will discuss in detail as well as. Then ICN research projects, overview of NDN. NDN is also one of the future internet, and hierarchy of ICN, name data networking. NDN supports Internet of Things. And last but not least, summary and challenges. Let's move forward. This one is a layman diagram. At least, sometime I give talk, means like we have different type of audience, maybe undergraduate student, maybe non-IT background, or maybe a professor, or maybe other person, so at least layman can understand. The fourth industry revolution. Why we say fourth? Because it is number 4 industry. The first one is like Industry 1.0, end of 18th century. Basically, we had a first mechanical loom, 1784. That is called first industrial revolution. Then we had Industry 2.0. We have something like assembly lines. For example, vehicle assembly lines. We can make a vehicle on assembly line. It started 20th century. Third one, basically, we have first programmable logical controller, Medicon 084, 1969. So it is like something like a programming base or robotic base industry 3.0. Last but not least, currently we have industry 4.0. It is Internet of Things, basically everything on internet, such as we have 9 pillar of industry 4.0, and education also very important in IR 4.0. I will discuss in my upcoming slides. Propagation of total US internet. By 2021, 80% of global traffic will be video. Cisco said, why global 2021 80% our traffic will be video? Because that time I did my undergraduate, 1.44 MB floppy drive was enough for me. But now I think 1 terabyte flash memory also not enough for me, because that time we had less multimedia application. We had maybe a text file, word file, or other things as well as. But now we have multimedia application such as audio, video, simulation tools, and softwares, and audio, video, talk, full duplex information. That is why we need more space, more data. And you can see here we have in 19th we had FTP emails and telnets, then 2000 web, and then in 2000, from 2010 we had video, more videos. Like for example, nowadays due to COVID-19, all universities closed physically, and now we became like a distinct learning university. We are teaching through LMS, online portals, online classes. That is why we need audio, video, traffic over the network, and we need 5G. That is why it is very important. And we need fiber optic on front end, not back end only. Fiber optic, maybe FTTH, fiber to home. If we have fiber to home, then our traffic very fast, our speed very fast, upload and download. That is why we need future internet, and we need IR 4.0. Okay, these are 9 technology pillars, Industry 4.0 and education. Because if we will talk about Industry 4.0, it's almost related to basically technology. For example, simulation and augmented reality, also one of the pillar for Industry 4.0. Then horizontal and vertical integration, industrial Internet of Things. That is another new term for IoT, Industrial Internet of Things, IIoT. Then we have cybersecurity. If we will use more internet, we will use more internet for education. Of course, we need security, we need cyber security. For example, if we have some confidential data or information, we must secure our data or information. Cloud computing or clouds. Cloud computing also important, because as I said to you last time, we had less data. Now we have more data, more information, more documents. That's why sometimes we can put on cloud. For example, students are using like Google Drive or Dropbox or other clouds, free clouds. But if we will go for as a professional organization, then we have to buy we have to buy clouds. Maybe another place, for example, like Facebook, one of the biggest social media application. We have to put everything on Facebook, like our video, audio, picture, and other things as well as. These are on Facebook clouds, not on our computer. Then adaptive manufacturing things, as well as then we have supply chain management. Of course, supply chain management also very important. For example, if we have a grocery uh, store, then we need barcodes, tags for our products or inventory. Then we can make properly supply chain management. Another thing is big data analytics. Big data is also very important. Data is basically oil. Last time we had a petrol is oil, but nowadays data is oil. If we have a data, we can manipulate it, we can improve it, we can reshape it, we can reuse it. Data is very important. For example, last time we used to go any hotel. Before we book hotel, then we ask our friends, okay, their review, then we book that hotel. But nowadays, no need to go to your friends. You can go their Facebook page, on their website, dynamic website. Then you can review former guest comments. If they give maybe 8 to 10, then you will choose. If they give less than 8 to 10, then you will not choose that hotel. So that is like a data mining from big data. Then augmented autonomous robots. Of course, robotics also very important. For example, Japan, they discourage human emigration because they said they have more than enough robots. So that's why they focus on robots. I already visited 5 times Japan. Then I noticed in shopping malls, attendants are robots, on airports, robots, everywhere robots, and they are working like human. So we will discuss in our upcoming slides as well as. Let's move forward. Future internet research. You can see here wearable devices. In future, we have wearable devices. IEEE is one of the world's biggest academic and professional organization. Basically, they are, I can say, 500,000 members throughout the world, and in Malaysia we have also one section and two subsection. I am one of the founding vice chair of IEEE, and in Karachi we have Karachi section. So basically, it is a very well-known organization, and they have one standard. It's called BAN, Body Area Network. Body area network basically means like you have some gadgets, those relate to your body, especially for entertainment, fitness, smartwatch, location, and tracking as well as. So that is also very important, one of the future research interests. Then building and home automation. Basically, we can control our accessories. Suppose, for example, you have a smart home at your place, then you forget to off aircon, nobody use. So you can use an Android application, and you can close these aircon and other things as well as via Android application. So means you can control remotely as well as. Smart cities. Smart cities concept is very important. Now you can see if smart city means all devices connected with internet, use wireless sensor networks. For example, heat sensor, motion sensor, pressure sensor, and other sensors as well as. And like they have a smart street lights, like automatically off, like they use motion sensor. If no motion, then automatically off. Then we have a pipeline leaking detection also. We can use some sensor, and this sensor can detect exactly location, for example, sewerage lines or maybe petroleum lines. Traffic control also, we can use sensors, surveillance cameras, centralized and integrated system as well as. Then we have smart manufacturing, flow optimization, real-time inventory, asset tracking, employee safety, productivity, maintenance, firmware, and updates. So for example, smart manufacturing, like they have like maybe a vehicle smart manufacturing, or maybe any electronic device. So these things work on automatically via IR 4.0. Healthcare. Healthcare is very important. Human are very important in the world. That's why healthcare, we can use these technologies like e-medical record, and health record via computer, like we can remotely monitor. For example, nowadays we have COVID-19 situation. We cannot physically see every time patient as a doctor. That's why we can control remotely, and we can diagnose and we can give medicines or diagnose patient via remotely. So that is very important. Ambulance telemetry, like ambulance also connect with satellite internet or WiMAX, then they can connect with paramedical staff and doctor can connect with paramedical staff. Then they can save human life during their traveling. Drug tracking, hospital assets tracking, access control, productivity maintenance, and other things as well as. But these data are very confidential. Of course, automobile also very important. Like you can see here, nowadays Tesla is moving to electronic car. Google, they are moving to basically driverless cars. Also, they use Google Map. So everything on technology, everything on future internet. And important thing, we need fast internet, upload and download speed. That's very important. Without internet, we cannot do anything. In New Zealand, 2017, one survey, they have done one survey, because New Zealand is like volcanic country, earthquake country. They did one survey and they asked what you need first if anything happen and disaster happen. They said we need Wi-Fi, we need internet. So they no need basically water or other thing, because they need internet. If they have internet, they can communicate with their family and other things. They can inform to other members. So that's very important. My first diagram was a layman diagram. This one is like more technical diagram of fourth industrial revolution. Sorry, you can see here first industrial revolution, 18th century. Mechanization through steam engine. That means in first IR 1.0, basically we started some steam engines, looming machines. That is not basically related to computer, but it's related to industry purely. Then industrial revolution, second industrial revolution, 19th to 20th century, mass production through electric energy. Means already electric arrived, and basically Edison and Nikola Tesla, they created this electricity bulb and everything. Then basically IEEE also invented or first time organized by Edison and Nikola Tesla. Okay, then we have third industrial revolution, late 20th century, intelligent information revolution, and computer and internet as well as. So internet changed everything, because you can see from airline to hospital, hospital to academic to maybe industry. If we have internet, we change everything. Normally we use basically Wi-Fi throughout world, like on airport, on his at a restaurant, hotel, everywhere basically. Then we have Industrial 4.0, 21st century, intelligence, information technology, intelligence, information, big data, Internet of Things, and cloud computing. Basically, these all things connected with each other. Basically, in fourth industrial revolution, the intelligent information society and digital transformation. So basically, we digitalize. Like nowadays, governments also digitalize for education purposes. Like they are moving towards to LMS systems for education purpose. They are moving towards to portal, education portal, multi-dimension. Then the student can easily download their academic resources, upload their assignments, quiz, and other things. But they need internet, they need a proper module such as LMS. Another thing is 5G wireless network, 280 times faster than LTE, 70 times faster than 4G. So basically, you can see here in industrial revolution, we have 1 to 4, same like here from mobile Gs, we have 1 to 5Gs. So first G basically was without SIM card. Last time we had Instaphone without SIM card. Both sides need to pay. Second G is more on SMS, and third G MMS. 4G is fully IPTV, voice over IP, and 5G is downloading and uploading speeds in terabytes. And China is moving towards to 6G. So let's see. 5G basically fully applied in China and also South Korea. I already visited and I already tested in Seoul. So 5G they already using. Uh, but other country, maybe it will take time, other countries. But China, I think Korea, they are using 5G. And China using Huawei, they are moving towards to 6G as well as. Okay, the fourth industrial revolution and future society. Basically, by 2025, after I can say 4 to 5 years, 10% of people wearing clothes and reading glasses connect to the internet, like Google Glasses. So they can use this technology. 1 trillion sensor connected to the internet. Sensors are very tiny. Sensors are very cheap. Sensors are basically they consume less battery because they using diode, and that is why in future basically we use more sensors. For example, if you will park our car, we use sensor. We use heat sensor, motion sensor, pressure sensor, multiple sensor we are using, sensor and actors to depend on. The first robotics pharmaceutic in the US, the first 3D printer car in production by 2025, driverless car equally 10% of all cars on US roads. That is already they already tested. Basically, as I said to you, Tesla already tested, and also in Germany, Mercedes trucks, they already driverless. They made some driverless tracks, and these tracks are working. So means these things already ongoing. 90% of population using smartphones throughout world. Globally, more trips journey via car sharing than in a private car. The first city with more than 50,000 people and no traffic light. So means without traffic lights. So you can see these all things basically a smart society, smart education, and smart cities related to IR 4.0. Sources from World Economic Forum. Okay, key success factor in the fourth industrial revolution. That is something like a Korean style IR 4.0. Another one is throughout world, like World Economic Forum. That is sourced from report of Korean governments. Basically, they have also like technology, industry, and society. They divided into the three different things, like technology means high intelligent information tax and high quality data infrastructure. Industry, intelligent information of the whole industry. Then society, flexible labor market, social safety network, and collectivization of creativity talents. So basically, Korea is one of the we can say an example for us. Basically, they develop very fast. For example, now if we will go for mobile companies, like they have Samsung. Samsung is number 2 after iPhone, or sometimes we say number 1. Samsung used to be like a grocery shop. Basically, they sell vegetables, grocery, and they emerge accordingly and they change themselves. And now they become one of the leading mobile company. Not only Samsung is mobile company, they have 40 other industries as well as chemical, housing, shipping, other things as well as. Same like LG. LG used to sell toothpaste. So now they become home appliance industry, and of course they have also automobile industry as well as Hyundai, Kia, and other brands as well as. The Korea basically developed very fast. Another thing, in Asia, first time internet came through Korea. Like Professor Kolnam Chon from KAIST, he introduced internet first time or connected internet to Asia via US. So that is also important thing from Korea. To Korea, basically very fast in these technologies. Of course, industry, they are very good in sensor and other vehicles and other industry as well as society. For example, you can see due to this COVID-19 situation, they use artificial intelligence and they recognize this disease, and then they minimize patient due to artificial intelligence. That is another outcome of Korean society. Let's move forward. Banking 4.0. Like banking has, it has also some what we say, like IR 4.0, 1 to 4, same like we have banking, like digital bank 1.0, like e-banking. After that, digital bank 2.0, multi-channel integration. Then digital banking 3.0, omni-channel. Then we have a digital bank 4.0, Internet of Things. So nowadays you can see seldomly we see money, physical money. We use debit card, credit card, or in Malaysia or maybe in Pakistan, we will do transaction via internet banking. I seldomly use original currency. I use like a debit card or credit card, and as well as I do transaction via internet banking rather than I will visit physically. So it's mean it's saving our time and money. So that is important. As I said to you, if money matter via internet, then we must need secure internet, reliable internet. So security also very important. That is one thing. For example, every day in Malaysia, maybe other countries as well as, internet banking, they stop 1 or 2 hour every 24 hour. They have to update, they have to maintain their software, their application, and they update, and that's why they stop for 2 hours. So it means it is very important. Data platform enabling agriculture. Agriculture is very important also. Like Pakistan, basically an agriculture country, and agriculture country, if we use IR 4.0 or latest technologies, then we can enhance our crops and productivity. For example, you can see here we have a database backbone. Expensive product by environment testing make on-farm predictions possible. Then these things connect with the internet, either maybe satellite internet, guided, unguided internet. Unguided maybe satellite internet, or guided internet maybe like a wide wireless or Wi-Fi or WiMAX, as well as variable rate trajectory. Then we have these other machineries as well as, then we have these management, then yield monitoring system, to then breeding, and these all things go to database, and this database can use for future to improve their crops as well as. And nowadays we are using also drones for different purposes, monitor our crop. For example, in Malaysia we have two type of agriculture products. One is palm oil. Palm oil is something like a date tree. It's grow very slow, and then it's give after 2 or 3 year fruit regularly. uh, Due to this IR 4.0, they can use multiple sensor, like when this tree need water, when this fruit is ready to pluck, and other things as well as, like they have a rubber tree, and rubber tree also very important product from Malaysia. So they can also use some sensor, and they can collect information, and this information is very useful. Tourism and technology. As I mentioned, some countries are tourist countries, like Malaysia, basically tourist country. That it is like an industry for them also. Like everything depend on tourists. Like if tourists come, they use airline. Then tourists will come, they will use hotels and other things as well as. So that is one of the income from Malaysia, but due to COVID-19, it's closed. So they are using some virtual tourism or domestic tourism. The same like here, you can see here, we have sustainable tourism growth, enabling technology, travel mobility, evolving visitor demands. So these all things use like big data and data mining, and they can improve these things using this IR 4.0. Like we have online platforms as well as like travel information, transportation, navigation, and accommodation. You can see these all social media and navigation and accommodations applications nowadays we are using. For example, like Uber, they have no car for themselves, means like they are not owner for any taxi, but they are using an application. Due to application, they become a very big transportation company. Same like Facebook. So Facebook, they use also our data. They can manipulate, they can advertise, and they can use for multi-purposes. Same like here, YouTube. Airbnb, it is something like a hoteling also. Anyone can give one room or maybe his house or her house. So these all application nowadays we are using via internet. For example, IR 4.0 and tourism. In Tokyo, basically, Han Hotel, they are using robots. These all robots basically as a attendant on reception. In New York, they are using robots also for safety boxes as well as because nowadays we can use virtual reality also, like eye grader, and then ski jumps also like virtually if we cannot visit physically. So these things also we can use using future technologies and VR and AR technology. Now we will move forward to another part of our today talk, future internet research. Basically, in 2005, NSF workshop held, and they discuss about future internet. Because current internet basically based on like security or military purposes. 1969, DOD, Department of Defense, they invent that internet, and our internet based on TCP/IP layer from physical to application layer. Still, we are using same thing. For example, uh, we have to move forward from IPv4 to IPv6. IPv4 means we have to change our equipments because this equipment does not support what we say IPv5, IPv6. That's why we have to change these things. So that is one of the big issue, and that is why IPv6 in between IPv6 and IPv4, IPv5 die inside lab. They didn't introduce. It was slow. IPv4 and IPv6 like something like a population of our IP devices. Like each device has IP address, like mobile, laptop, desktop, notepad, or sometimes router, switches, all electronics devices, those connect with internet, they have IP address. So IP address is increasing. Like last time I had only one phone, now I have maybe two mobile phones, then one laptop, desktop, office, desktop to, means increasing population. That is why we have to change from IPv4 to IPv6. Same like we need to change or we need to come up with parallel internet because this internet is not enough. That's why we have to think about future internet. Okay, in 2005, as I mentioned, US come up with NSF workshop. They discussed about future internet. 2007, European Union FP7 project, a 7th framework program. They come up with the future internet as well as, that is also important thing. In Asia, basically we say Asia FI Future Internet Forum 2008. In 2007, basically New Generation Networks Forum in Japan, they created. Then Korea Future Internet Forum 2006. However, there have been no remarkable achievement for years. So they have discussed many countries, many continents, they discussed, but no outcome. But suddenly in 2010, information-centric network received an attention around the world. 2010. What is information-centric network? Basically, as nowadays we can see, the internet plays a central role in our society. Without internet, we cannot do nowadays many things, like aeroplane cannot fly, like airline, high-speed trains cannot work, electric and internet. Like in Malaysia, we have driverless LRT. Basically, it's a computerized. It's use internet, of course, electricity. If we have no internet, it doesn't work. It means internet is very important. And also, because as I mentioned, the internet represents one of the most successful example of the bandwidth system investment and commitment to the research and development of information structure as well as information-centric network. Basically, it is a future internet. How it's work? We have, as I mentioned, TCP/IP layer, physical layer to application layer. We change IP layer into centric. That is a concept of information-centric network. I will explain here. Okay, internet paradigm shift, how it shift, network use remotely resources sharing, communication mode, end-to-end information, host-centric information. And then of course, we use protocol globally, IP routes, CDN and peer-to-peer network, then host-centric network layers and application layers as well as. Then after that, we have information-centric network, generalization of the CDN concept as well as. So this one is one example. Like we have one TV channel, for example, CNN. It has headquarters in New York, but in regional Southeast Asia, we have in Singapore, and of course, country and user in Malaysia. So how it's work? Basically, a domain name server and CDN traffic will carry 2/3 of all internet videos traffic by 2020, as I mentioned. So basically, then we have internet and ICN. Normal internet basically based on IP address, internet protocol addresses like unique numbers. But you can see here, these are unique numbers. But ICN basically use name, destination, centric. So that is a different between, very basic difference between current internet and information centric internet. Source provider basically, and that is like a IP network. Normally our current internet, we say connect to this IP address, but in ICN, information centric network, get data A means like we didn't connect, we got data, or we got a name, or we got information like name, YouTube /video /A. Like here, IP, basically we have IP addresses. Here we have names, naming information. For example, that is something like a link for YouTube. Okay, ICN are simple conceptual shift, but still need to improve. It is first time introduced by Van Jacobson. He used to work as a director of Cisco US, and he introduced information-centric network first time. Okay, this one is like content-based naming and content-based security. As I mentioned, security also very important for future internet. That is also one of the feature for information-centric network. Here, content-based naming, like X is based on what content name rather than on where it is located. So they based on content name. In network caches, basically we reuse or repair, but in name-based content delivery, name-based routing, basically we are using naming, or we are using content, or we are using location for information-centric network. Of course, it is good in mobility and multicasting as well as. This one is ICN simplify architecture. Basically, how it's work, like storage overlay, security overlay, and mobility overlay. Basically, simplify content where network architecture, integrating mobility, security, distributed storage as well as, and that is one of the source from Cisco. Okay, this diagram is very important for like a non-computer based student or maybe audience easily can understand what different basically current internet or future internet. Like you can see here, our current internet based on IP, internet protocol, from physical layer to application layer. We have TCP IP layer from physical to application, 5 layers, like everything over IP or IP over everything. But in content centric network or information centric network, name data network, name data networking, we only change from IP to content. Other our TCP IP model same. So means only concerned about IP. If we change our IP to content, it's become information centric network. Everything over content or content over everything as well. These are IP and ICN characteristics. So basically these are further detail about TCP IP versus NDN and CCN. Packet switching routing, of course, address hosting, address data, no source, no address. Reliable, unreliable transport, no predictable transport, except between neighbor nodes. Semantic routing, stateless forwarding, pre-packet state during forwarding. Channel-oriented security, of course, object-oriented, unicast, anycast, multicast, and multi-point request response. So this is a very basic difference between TCP IP and NDN and content-centric network as well as. Of course, currently this content-centric network is still on research mode. It has some issues need to be solved, especially cache performance in information-centric network, because cache is like something like a temporary memory. Especially if we have a real-time traffic, then we have to, if overflow, we have to forward to cache, and then cache can forward into their destination as well as. So this one is one of our research. Basically, we have done network cache topologies. So this one you can see network cache. Then we have edge caches, and we have done some simulation based. That one is one of my master student work. Then we have done some simulation topologies. We have parameters and values, different size. Why we use simulation? Basically, if we have 3 type of evaluation. Either mathematical modeling. If we will go for mathematical modeling, we have to again go for test bed or simulation. Then we have simulation. It is very near to real environment. That is very easy if we have an open source tool like network simulation 2, network simulation 3, or maybe other simulation tools also like packet tracer, also sometimes academic purpose OpNet. That's why it's easy for students to use, or sometimes universities has their license. Another way is like emulation. Emulation is something like a simulation, but it is on real environment. And then we have testbed. Testbed means like we have real routers, switches, and other things. We have to connect these things and come up with a testbed. That is very difficult for a student to come up with these things, because they need a lot of money, or maybe big grant to come up with a test bed. So that's why students work on simulations. So that is our results, basically simulation in time, in seconds. Of course, we use throughput, one of the parameters. Then we have simulation time, then packets. Then we have a content delivery networks and information centric network. Throughput is basically, if we go for in a network terms, end to end receiving information as soon as fast. So means we have throughput. If it's in delay, then our throughput is less. If it's fast, our throughput is high. So that is main concept. And packets, of course, if you will go for forwarding any message, text, maybe video, audio, anything, we move forward our traffic in the packets. Packets are small. If maybe drop, then we can send again, like positive acknowledgement and negative acknowledgement as well as. Okay, we have some projects also for CCN. You can see here, like NDN as well as then FP7, European Union. ICN workshops and standards. If you want more information about future internet and information centric network for education purposes, like each year they have ACM SIGCOM ICN workshop. Then of course ICN conference started from 2014, and of course it is also on platform of IETF, Internet Engineering Task Force. Internet Engineering Task Force is also very important because they are recognizing internet. If they come up with RFCs, requests to comments, means that is one of recognized area. They already came up with few RFCs on information centric network. And then they have also IRTF, Internet Research Task Force. Under Internet Research Task Force, they have research group ICNRG, already working on since 2012 under the species of ITF. So I am also member for this group. So if you will join also, you will get latest information about future internet. Overview of NDN and name data networking. This one is another layer of information centric network. It is like NDN. You can see here that is also one of our research, basically how it's work. Like NDN router, then NDN router send to another information to source, then content, then again reply content. Then it will go to second user as well as. So basically they use naming base rather than IP base, and they use these content. And of course these are caches. Cache is basically limited and temporary storage. In NDN also we have one research gap, maybe one master student and PhD student can do. Like they have a cache data like content storage, pending interest table, who asks for what, and forward information base, where to go if I don't have the data. So these are some research area maybe need to solve, pending interest table and forwarding information base. Then further overview of NDN, you can see here. Then again we have some information as I mentioned, FIB and PIT, and then cache CS as also. So these are also some research issues, some delay in our caching or end-to-end information. Further, we have a packet by packet request and reply, basic operation on mobility, NDN. The mobility also very fast compared to our current internet. Then, of course, overview of naming. Naming, it's like something like a hierarchy or something like a tree. As I mentioned, this is something like a link, like .com / videos which a .mpg / v2 / s as 0. So these are some hierarchy in NDN. We can use this hierarchy or this link rather than IP addresses. And of course, security also very important in NDN. It is also secure. And this one is data aggregation in NDN. It is basically we propose method 1 and method 2 that is also supported. That is another example of data aggregation. Domain A to domain B, and that is like a router aggregates packet and forwarding the same network. We are naming. The trains in CCN and NDN, basically this guy is Van Jacobson. He introduced information-centric network. We had different hierarchy or different flavors. The content-centric network, 0.1, then content-centric 1.0, CCN, multicasting programs, and Cisco wide CCN. Then another guy, his name is Zhang. He introduced NDN. It is also flavor of content-centric network from UCLA. This one. Then Horizon. Okay, what is Internet of Things? Basically, Internet of Things means our heterogeneous internet connect with different devices, different networks. Like for example, smart healthcare, ambulance connect with hospital, mobile connected with paramedical staff and administrative, then they can save human life. Then we have a smart gridding, like in Nepal, they have one village, they use blockchain and they share their extra electricity with neighbors. That is also a smart grid. Then smart environment or in agriculture, as I mentioned, we can use sensors, and these sensors can communicate with the internet or Wi-Fi, unguided or guided internet. Smart home and smart cities, like smart homes nowadays very common nowadays. And smart transportation, for example, vehicle to vehicle networks. Vehicle can talk with another vehicle. For example, 1 or 2 kilometer ahead, one accident happened, then this vehicle to talk to another vehicle, and they can inform them, okay, we had accident here, you can maybe choose another track to move forward, no need to come here. And they can also share some knowledge, some video, audio, and other information via internet. So that is also important thing. Then IoT requires and NDN supports. That is also very important. Name data networking, anycast, multicast, in-network caching, content-based security, and connection-less modes as well as. So you can see here, NDN supports these all things like scalability, quality of service, security, energy efficient, mobility, and heterogeneity. Okay, so
Kashif
some
Saab, sorry to interrupt you.
yes.
It's almost 1 hour. Can we go some queue so we can have more discussion at the end?
Okay, just maybe give me 2 minutes. After that, we can go.
Okay, okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. Now you can see here, as I mentioned last time, we have a TCP/IP layer, and now you can see a more technical TCP/IP. Last time we had only IP and IP packets and data chunk. Now we have a more technical TCP/IP. We only have to change from IP. If we change IP, then it's become information-centric network. Okay. So that is like a summary and challenges deployment of information-centric network, how we will deploy. Either we will come up with the overlay mode, we can use ICN and TCP/IP, or maybe we will go for ICN as an underlay mode, like TCP/IP and ICN, or maybe we will go for a hybrid information centric network. We can join together, and or maybe we will come up with a clean salt mode. So that is, these are some proposed ideas. And of course, ICN as a slice in 5G. Okay, summary and challenges. In which stage ICN? Basically, currently ICN basically on research mode under IRTF, and of course it's need standards and billions of dollars investment, and then we will move forward. Okay, last but not least, that is my conclusion. Basically, our Internet of Things basically based on connect with everywhere, like smart cities, smart environment, energy, agriculture, e-health, retail, logistic, and industrial control as well as. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kashif Saab. It was wonderful, wonderful presentation.
Okay, it's my pleasure. Thank you.
So we have our Vice Chancellor with us, Dr. Faisal Abbasi,
Mhm.
also Dr. Bhavani Patel Saab. Sir,
Hi,
Yeah.
Dr. Kashif. Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Kashif.
Walaikum salam. How are you, Prof?
Yeah, you can hear me. Very good.
Yeah, it's my pleasure
Wow.
you are here. It's my
Yeah,
pleasure.
I've always, whenever I see an interesting webinar, I'm always there.
And
But
also Prof.
I
Bhavani
would say,
sir is also
wow.
here.
It was
Professor.
amazing. It was an amazing talk. I tell you, I'm not a computer guy, neither I know much about networks. But what a rich talk it was. What a rich presentation it was. So much information, into one talk, which is amazing. Number one.
Thank
Number
you.
two, this is a message from Mustafa. I think what we should do now, I'm sure we've recorded the lecture. Have we, Mustafa? Oh,
Yes, it is recorded, I think.
it is recorded. Oh, I see Bhavani also. Bhavani, thank you, yaar. Thank you for joining us. Hey, here's
Thank
the
you,
deal.
sir. You are also there. Thank you, Bhavani sir. And basically,
Oh,
Professor Bhavani introduced me to Dr. Mustafa.
oh, did he? Now I
Uh,
know who's behind it. I did not realize how did Kashif come to meet us, and I was about to ask you this question. But I'm glad Bhavani did it for us. Now, having said that, Mustafa, what I would like is tomorrow, not even later than tomorrow. I would like to have my computer systems and telecom faculty sit in my conference room and let's play this lecture that Dr. Kashif has given to them. It's very knowledgeable. I think it'll be very useful for these guys who probably have not attended today's webinar. It is very unfortunate, but we are still developing the culture of webinars and attending them. That's why I normally make it a point that I'm always there. But this talk must be relayed or repeated tomorrow in my conference room. I'm going to send a WhatsApp message to these two departments, and please make sure that you connect everything up and we can have it in our conference room. ठीक है ना? Having said that, Dr. Kashif, thank you very much for your talk. Bhavani Sahib, as usual, we are grateful.
It's
For,
clear. I think we can go. I can't see Dr. Kashif is there.
I don't
That
know.
Kashif, are you there?
I think I need to text him. Please, you can
I could see Dr.
continue.
Salim is there, Dr. Rauf is there from our side. So well, that's good. Dr. Salim is there at least. But
Dr. Kashif, I can't see is there.
Kashif
Now we,
is, yeah, Bani, you say what you want to say. Yeah,
yeah,
Kashif is
Dr.
back.
Kashif is there.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, something happened. I
yeah,
don't know.
right. I think we go beyond, like Professor Vishab said, Dr. Abbas Saab said that he'll be having faculty members of computer system and director IT and all those people, electronics, to learn from this technology. Even I see the application in agriculture and
Mhm.
industry. So I
Yes.
think the people from industry engineering department and materials, even they can, few of them, not all of them, they may also see the future how to exploit this technology for industry revolution 4.0. So I think after having tomorrow's those presentation in Dawood, Dawood University may form a small group which may interact, which can see the interest of the Kashif, which can see the interest of our NCRA group, because Dr. Kashif is also international collaborator on our research
Wow.
group. We are having joint publications,
Yes, yes, yes.
He just sent
Wow.
a mail 3 years back, and after that I have been following him. He has been following me. So we have
Wow.
almost every alternate morning 10 minutes talk. I have a walk in the park at that time, and in Malaysia it is around 12 o'clock. We almost
Yeah.
have every alternate day, sometime every day. So we always think what to do. So we had another talk. Let me, sir, share with you a Comstack with the Dr. Iqbal Chaudhary chairing the session, and that was
Wow.
attended by more than, I think, 250, and some of the newspaper in Islamabad, they covered that one, and it was a IEEE, Comstack, and we had such a
Hmm.
wonderful talk there. So we can have a committee. We have expert, from IR side, industrial I4, industrial revolution 4 side. This person are expert, one of them, and maybe the director IT board, and few, I think 4 5 members committee you may form tomorrow, and
Yeah.
one of them should lead that one, and then we will be in the loop and see how we can do some more practical things for our industry, our agriculture sector, our education sector, and so on and so forth.
I'm glad you said it, Bhavani. I'm glad you said it. What I will do is, from my side, as I said, I'm very open to it. It's a matter of developing a culture which is not existing in Pakistan.
True.
And in your case, it's a different story altogether. You're an exceptional case. But other than that, I've seen my faculty, uh, kind of not as geared up as Kashif is. Look at his presentation. I mean, I can tell you the best of my best will give me less than half the information that you gave me in an hour or so. So it was amazing.
It's my
So
pleasure, Prof.
let's develop this culture. So
Exactly.
tomorrow I'm gonna personally see to it, and I want to have volunteers who will be interested to work. See, I don't know how many hours Kashif gives to his work, and I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of hours. I mean, like even making this presentation itself and the background of the research that he was carrying with him. That takes a lot of hours. Bhavani, you would know more than I.
Yeah.
So,
I sometimes send a mail at 10 p.m. Pakistan time. I again get a reply even an hour
see,
like.
see,
So he
that is
wakes
what
up.
it is.
He
It is a
bugs midnight. I'll.
see. This is a 24/7 job. It is not like can't come in spurts and starts. Can't do that. It's a 24/7 job. Your mind is always working. I'm sure Kashif must be having dreams also at times. I mean, having worked the whole day, when you sleep, you will be seeing all kind of CCNs and ICNs in your dreams. And I'm sure it happens to those who work the whole day on a certain topic. So yeah, let's do that. But I would like you, if you could help us, while I make a team from my university, I would like your guidance and your lead on it, if you can. I mean, in whichever way you want, whichever suits you.
Yeah.
I will be backing you up with all the manpower, and if you can bring some manpower of your own, that will be even better. But let's have a joint kind of a collaboration.
Right.
Not necessarily physical visits and all that. We can be online talking to each
Exactly.
other and exchanging emails. Another good platform that we have. But let's begin. Let's start. This is
We,
I
I think last time I also introduced at some university Nawab Fasi Qureshi is from Korea, is a Pakistani. His wife is with us, associate professor, and he's there in Korea. We can have his talk. He's working on cloud side and
Oh,
big data and all those things. We may have after 3 weeks. I can request him. I was
yeah.
supposed to have another meeting with him because we are having a one conference in Japan. What happened, sir? A professor from Denmark, he said, I am not feeling well to travel to Japan, or so you give the keynote instead of, in place of
Wow.
mine. I said, how can, it was a WPMC, 23rd Wireless Personal Multimedia Conference. So I
Wow.
requested him to prepare a talk on emerging topics on big data having application in multimedia. So he sent me a presentation. He will actually, give me presentation, and I will then give the keynote in on 18th October. I think it is on 19th
Oh,
October. Yeah.
okay. Okay. But you'll be giving it online kind of, or will you be
Yeah,
going to
it's
Japan?
online. It's online. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So I
okay.
mean, we can have the another young faculty, Isma. She's wife of Dr. Fassi. So in my
And
team, she's very good. Isma Farah. Isma
what is
Farah.
her what is her field? What is her
It
specialization?
is IT. It's software
Oh, wow.
engineering, computer engineering.
Okay.
She's from IT. And another name, we can arrange a one talk on photonics technology. Actually, I was in Germany, and one professor in Germany, what he said, you can do whatever, these technology, internet, this, but you cannot keep, you know, when you come to that level, we will be maybe 50, 100 yards advanced to that. But some
Yeah.
of the technologies which are still even unmatured, even in the Europe, one of them is photonics technology having application in every field of life. And I got two experts. They both got European funding. They got a PhD from Europe, rather three. Now third has come as a return as well. So we can have some of those even those three names. I can fortnightly lecture we can arrange there as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
One is
Absolutely. Please
yeah.
do
So we
remember us.
can have, and all those four are very dynamic. The ISMA, Dr. Mutwa can write the name if he wants to add. Another is
Yeah.
Umair Korai. Another one is Dr. Abi Wakas, and other is Dr. Faisal.
And they're
So
all in Mehran. They're all in
yeah,
Mehran
they are
University.
Iran, but they are all Barkhurdar. So
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah, I can
I
see
do
that.
it at the front end, they do all the back
Mhm.
end processing.
So, in all, what I think Dr. Kashif's talk has united the two of us, at least Bhavani and me. Bhavani and I go a long way back, but today we have got a new idea while listening to your lecture. So let us join hands then tomorrow.
Yes,
Well,
Prof.
what we will do, let me tell you, I think Salim Pul, who's my chairman of computer systems, is there. I don't know whether he can unmute himself so that he can hear me. But what we would do, Mustafa, is that we will call the PhD faculty from these three departments, including IT,
Mhm.
okay, and some very good, non-PhDs. I know I can name them. So I will work on my WhatsApp thing, and tomorrow at 1 o'clock, let's assemble in my conference room with the talk and the lunch. I will give you lunch also. So you can have lunch with me. This is the group that I'm going to select that group. But make sure Salim is listening. I hope and Rauf is there too. Rauf is
Ji sir, I'm listening.
listening. Salim is not for all.
Ji
Your
sir.
PhD faculty and maybe Shahid, what is his name?
Shahid
Shahid,
Suleiman sir.
Shahid Suleiman. He's a smart guy. And one other if you
Yes
have
sir.
any choice. But PhD faculty for sure. And on the other side, Rauf is from electronics. I want Arslan, Ramesh, Atif, and Rauf, you, and Talha if you can. I think Talha is a very smart kid too. So I don't know whether Rauf is listening or not, but make sure, Mustafa, I'll compose the WhatsApp and I'm going to send it to these departments. ठीक है ना?
Uh,
उनके chairmans को
sir,
दे
I
दूंगा.
want to add one thing that Dr. Fassi
Yes,
has been to in our
yes, sir.
university. He
I'm
has given
listening.
seminars.
Was that so
And Madam
good?
Maria is doing PhD in her supervision. In his supervision.
And who is there?
Madam
Who's
Maria,
supervision?
Dr. Fassi
Doctor,
is supervisor
he
of Madam Maria.
yeah.
Oh, okay, Dr. Fassi. But Madam Maria is doing it in Maju.
No, no, sir. Madam Maria Bashir, she is doing PhD from Korea. She left 1 month ago.
So Fassi is her supervisor from Pakistan.
Yes, sir.
No,
In
he is in
SKKU,
Korea.
South
He is
Korea,
Pakistani.
he's
He is there.
he's
Oh no, I
professor
know.
there.
Yeah, I got it. Ismail is here, Fassi. Okay, I see what you mean. I got it. No issues. I saw it. Yeah, okay. Okay, fine, fair enough. But tomorrow, let's arrange some tomorrow, and what we can do, Dr. Kashif, that we'll give you a feedback if you don't mind. Okay, what do we feel, all of us? And maybe Bhavani, we'll put Bhavani in the loop, Mustafa. So whatever conclusions come out of our listening and talking discussion, we'll keep you in the loop, and then you guide us, and let's kickstart this whole concept, as Bhavani Shankar has said. Let us join hands and start working, and maybe make a group who can work together in this area. Okay, na? So
Okay,
thank you very much, Kashif.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Kashif. Thank you, Bhavani, for everything. Yeah? And thanks to ORIC and the team for organizing all this. But let's keep it moving. I mean, we should not. This should not be a one-off effort. Let's keep it moving. We'll keep in touch, and inshallah, something will come out of it. Thank you very much again. I think I'll let you guys be, and I have to go and play my guitar, so I'm in a real rush.
Thank you, sir.
For my own
I
personal
was
reasons.
when we were returning day before yesterday from Pakistan Railway.
Yeah,
Actually, Sheikh Rashid was coming to
yeah.
Karachi. Actually, you might have read today's his statements in Dawn about that circular railway. So we from
Uh-huh.
Dawood we went there and we spent 5 hours there. We spent up to 9 p.m. So we visited
Oh
their different
wow,
yards and some those trolleys took us to different places and
wow, wow.
we
Yeah,
saw how they have been working like a stone age, railway.
yeah. I
They
know, I
themselves
know, I know,
admitted,
I know.
So
Did you make?
on way back, no,
Yeah.
Sheikh Rashid arrived late, quite late. We left, and then
Okay.
they were, making his arrangements. So because of that, they also showed us some different. He's going to visit these